You hear me? You just turn the mic on?
Not yet.
Okay. So we got 2 minutes 55. So when I say 30 seconds, all quiet. Just hit the button off, and then when you hear the deal, we'll be good to go. Shit. God damn it, I fucking fucked up. All right, 30 seconds.
You're cruising on a motorcycle through another dimension and time. A dimension not only of beer and rock and roll, but of twisted minds and sexy women. A wild journey of crazy imagination that has no boundaries. There's a warning, a sign up ahead. Your next stop. The Zig Zone. The Zig Zone. The Zig Zone. The Zig Zone.
All right, welcome to the Zig Zone. And here comes Zig. He's got everything running. Runs the show, and he's the engineer.
Yeah, I probably fucked something up, dude. I can guarantee you, but
Scott's working on the finger, so he recorded it, so that way we still have it.
There's a. I was looking up to buy a new one. I actually bought another one, but I'm going to fix the other one too, so we'll have a backup or whatever.
We should buy stock in the company,
right? I found it. You said you got it at Spencer, so I found one there, and then but it's all sold out. So I found it on Amazon. So
I was going to say, nice. Just look on Amazon. Straight from China.
It looks a little different, but it does the same sounds and everything. So
does it have the redneck middle finger look?
It's I don't know,
because that would be cool.
The redneck. Oh, with the
There's like two different ways to do the middle finger.
That's it. Bigger and better. That's it.
I don't know if the other way pisses you off more. I think it's more effective.
It's fucking lame. Like, what is this? Like a fucking jackhammer fucking finger?
We should start a survey. Like who does the middle finger this way versus that way?
And the survey says,
So what's the show about tonight? He's still looking for something on his phone.
nope. It takes me a fucking minute to get the
live?
the whole live thing going here.
So we got
we're
the YouTube
already
feed going.
live on YouTube, and
About to go live
there
on
we
Facebook.
go. All right, we are now live on Facebook.
He doesn't have an iPhone.
No, I do not.
Yeah, with
No,
an
I
iPhone we
do
can plug
not.
right into that, and then it goes to the board.
If I had an iPhone, I would definitely be able to plug right into the board. So, all right. So we are live on FB. We are live on YouTube, Kaotic Radio Live. Tune into chaoticradio.com. Download it on your phone. And from the App Store, I think it's a Google Play, isn't it? Right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Yeah.
or the Apple Store.
Or the Apple Store. Yeah. And listen on in. All right. First one in. Boom. Bill K. He's already watching.
All right.
That was quick, man. It wasn't even 15 seconds, dude. Oh, there goes Matthew Brown. Look at that. Already.
Yep, and here we are on YouTube.
Let's do this.
Everything's working.
Hey.
Cheers. So you had a long weekend.
Yeah, I'm still feeling it. Yeah, I mean, went to Laughlin, went out there and just kind of, get away, felt the wrath on Father's Day, though, because I was up there. But
The
still,
wrath.
we had fun. We went out Saturday. We went took the jet boat down to Havasu. Met some friends down there. Rode on their boat for a little bit and partied at the pool with another friend there. And then got back in the jet boat, and went back to Laughlin again. So we just got back literally a few hours ago, and we're dead.
I was going to say when he was sitting here earlier, we got here. I'm like going, dude, you still look buzzed.
Not buzzed, just tired as fuck.
And well, in the heat, it's like 180 degrees out there.
It wasn't too bad. I mean, it was between, I think the first day was about 105, and
Yes,
it was
105 degrees too hot.
but it was humid. But
That's even worse.
yeah, but it was breezy, so it kind of balanced it out. But we were in an air conditioned fucking, casinos most of the time that day, and then the next day we gonna go by a pool, but it was still fucking packed there, and a bunch of kids and shit. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna go there and pee pool,
I don't go in public pools anymore.
Nah, if
Dude,
it's dead, then maybe, yeah. But if it's like packed full of kids pissing in the pool, no thanks.
Exactly.
But
That's the least of your worries.
yeah, no, the rest of the week it wasn't. Yeah, Saturday was nice. It was only about in the high 90s, and Havasu was really nice. That place was jumping as soon as we got into the canal. It's just
Havasu's always jumping, especially right now.
insane. I was like,
School's out.
hadn't been there in a minute, so it was fun.
Scott, you can't say canal without anal.
Right?
Canal.
Absolutely.
Canal. That's going to be a new one, man. Really, canal. I'm going to go up in your canal.
Okay.
Oh, look at this. See, my fucking son just tips his
He's just
fucking
announcing
head
on the
aside here, interrupts my fucking show. I'm going to go to
We should
Walmart
just give
and
him
get
a
my
mic.
tires. He's going to take my truck. I'm a good dad.
With a statement, not a question.
Right, exactly.
Can I?
Shit.
What's that?
These... I mean, and kids is actually the topic today. Drake, who just peeked his head in and interrupted my fucking show, actually graduated this year. So glad he fucking graduated. And we got my boy Theo. What's up, Theo?
What's going on?
And see, and it's in it. I'm telling you, it's the fucking screen, dude. See that, and it totally brightens up. Cause see, instead of looking black, you were looking yellow for a minute there, dude. like you had jaundice or something.
It's like blackanese.
Right.
Straight from The Simpsons.
Theo's my barber, man, and I'm telling you, man, if you want to fucking cut, dude, this is the guy that gets it, man. Shout out your business real quick, brother.
Appreciate it. Barbershop out in off of University in Riverside. It's called RVR. It's also called Da Vinci's, which is who I am. It's my barber name. But if you're looking for that actual barber service, then most of the other places are going to jack you up, and then you're going to come see me. So, yeah, that is.
Well, you know, let me tell you something about when it comes to Theo's Barbers. This is there's a difference between like what is it, Sam? What is it? Sam's Fantastic Sam's or
Great Clips.
Yeah, all that bullshit. You know, those are places to get a haircut. Okay, we're talking a barber.
What is that?
See, a barber is old school. See, that's what you need. You need to have that little twirly thing on the front, man. Because here's the thing about a barbershop. A barbershop, you go in there and you there's communication going on.
Right.
You're bullshitting. You get, the
man cave.
Right. So me and Theo, we'll go from like thinking about vacation in Hawaii, and then to politics to racing on the track to riding an elephant in fucking Africa. I mean, the conversation never stops.
Of course, women are always a big topic.
Yes, they are. That's about half of them. But you guys ever seen The Barbershop? The movie The Barbershop?
Yeah.
See, when I grew up in South LA, when I went to the barbershop, that's how it was like. You had people that just hung out at the barbershop.
Right.
When you got your cut, you got a cut. I don't think they called it a haircut. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Theo, but it was called, I'm going to get a cut.
Right. Exactly. It's like you're just going to get a cut, basically, and it's because it's funny, like the way that things have changed, and now, especially with places like Fantastic Sam's and Great Clips, like they're doing more along the lines of quantity versus quality.
Yes.
So you have like 12 minutes in the chair, but then, you're probably going to get charged maybe like $10-12 or something like that. Is like, as opposed to me, like I book appointments in hour increments. So basically everything from the neck up is what I deal with. So if you got ear hair, nose hair, whatever it is to make you look right, that's actually what's going to get done. I deal with eyebrows on a low scale. If you're trying to look like a woman, I'll be kind of like questionable with that. It's like we can clean up, your unibrow or over the top, but
how does one know if one has ear hair? Asking for a friend. Well, it's like, how do you look at that in the mirror?
Come creeping out at you.
I'm like,
usually,
because
a lot of times I don't even ask people if they want it done. If I see it there, I just get it.
Oh, shit.
Because it bugs me.
That's got to be a nice surprise for somebody.
Right. So you'd be like, hey, well, what do you do? I'm like, relax. Like, and most of my people have been coming to me so long that they don't ask questions. It's like, I've got people who, I was cutting their hair when they were a kid, and now I'm doing their kids. So
nice.
It's like, long rapport, services, everything. So, like, especially when people got special events, and things like that, like they know, I'm going to make sure they're, top notch for pictures. You need services where you can take a photo, so my idea is to basically create model quality so that way you'll be all right for, wedding or bar mitzvah, whatever the hell it is you got going on. So, that's basically where I go with it. I had to figure out what was going to separate me from, all the other shops that are in the area, especially since there are so many. So service was what I came up with. So I try to do everything that the other shops are going to try to shy away from or rush you through. So that's actually how I ended up being successful. I probably haven't turned on my open sign in like 2 years now. It's like my appointments stay so stacked that it's just a misleading thing for me to make it seem like I'm even available.
I got a question for you, Theo, because I know that I go in. It's not rocket science, or not rocket science. It's not. It doesn't take a long time to really cut my hair, but I swear to God, we just get to bullshitting and I'm in the chair for about a fucking hour, man. Yeah, we just sit there, we just chill out, we're talking, and he's just sitting there, and then he stops, we just kind of talk. But I'll tell you what, when is the last time that you ever had someone take a straight razor just to do some final, just
right? Man,
I love that.
Those
and
details,
it kind of that's it. And the fade is all nice. Dude, I'm telling you, I look good. Right. I just had this shit done. What was that like a week ago? Last week, right? I look good. So actually, and my girl, Oscar really loves it too.
Yeah.
He do good. He could go ahead.
Right. Yeah, I promote good relationships.
I like go, hey, honey, maybe let's see if he does a bikini wax.
Do that.
Be out there with my girl spread out in front of him. Be like, going, hey, Zig, I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know if I'm supposed to see this, man. I just,
Our relationship may change just a tad.
Oh my God! But
Hey, if it needs to be done, it needs to be done.
right?
Hey,
Hey,
right.
it says Dave. What? Hey, quit messing with this ball guy. Oh, that's right, Dave. I'm sorry, Dave. You ain't got no fucking hair, man. Hey, well, we could take that straight razor to it.
Right. Just like, straight razor all the way to I can put a piece up there too if that's what you need.
Right?
We're doing that now. So, it's like, if you don't have it, if you buy it, it's yours.
Yeah, that
Right.
fake spray.
You can't grow it, yeah. Like if you can't grow it, hey, you can lease a piece from me. We'll get it in there.
Oh, guess who chimed in?
Oh shit.
Yeah, the mail ladies chimed in. So tonight our topic was,
I saw
the
two
kids.
topics.
Well, no, where was the second?
There was another one like
So
second
that was
chances.
an idea for another show.
Oh
No,
okay.
that was an idea for us. So actually, yeah, I'll mention that now. That was the second chance show.
They kind of go together, so it would work.
I brought an idea up, and it's been eating in my head. I can't divulge too much information, but I've had things in my past that have been like really like eating on me. And so I came up with the second chance. So, I've got friends that have, spent quite a bit of time, and they get out, and it's just very tough for someone who, comes out into society and to become a citizen. Look, I pay my dues. I really understand what I did. I fucked up.
Okay.
So I just want to. I need to just give me a chance.
Yeah.
And they're knocking on doors, and the doors are being closed.
Right.
I've had 3 guys that have worked for me that had same thing, doors shut right in their face. And I'm like,
Right.
okay, well, can you turn a wrench? And this is over my 35 years. It's not just at my shop.
Right.
I've had only one guy at my shop. But look, if you can at least know what a pair of pliers is, I can educate you on the rest.
Right.
As long as you listen to the play. And I'm telling you, these guys are willing to fucking learn, and women. So I came up with the idea, Scott, was the second chance. So, and it's not only just people that get that deal that just came out of maybe spending some time, but also people who have had addictions. I've had addictions, and I've had to get rid of a lot of demons. It's
Zig's had addictions.
This guy right there. Yeah. So, anyways, that was the show that you thought of. But the show tonight is, so we've got kids. My son graduated this year, so my second son. I only have 2.
Right.
I don't need to breed any more than me. That would be a scary thing if I had one more kid. For society. But so Drake graduated, and a lot of my friends have had kids that graduated. Your son graduated.
No, my daughter just from junior high.
Oh, okay.
No, my son will be like after next year.
Okay,
He's
gotcha.
a senior this coming next year. So.
Oh, nice.
Okay, gotcha.
Next
right
in
on.
line.
And he's applying himself, and he's getting good grades and everything. So that's
I'll go
great.
that far.
It's great because see, this is some of the things that we need to discuss, tonight. And Theo, you've got girls, and you have one that just recently graduated. Am I correct?
Well, actually, she's going to be a senior this coming year.
Okay, so she's going into 12th grade,
right?
then. Okay,
so and then I actually have one that's going into 10th grade, so she'll be right behind her. So they definitely, I'm so focused on getting them ready for life. And, it's funny because kids won't realize what actually hits after that diploma. It's like once you get out and they don't realize, what life really is. You have this idea, especially when you have the ideas like, hey, well, I'm just going to move out and I'm going to be able to do this. Of course, us as parents, we're just like, really?
right. Right.
I remember that thought.
My plan was to move to the beach and sell T-shirts.
Right.
Yeah.
And cocaine.
So it's great because now we still got a couple of us that have kids in school. But JJ, he's not breeding yet.
I don't think the world's ready for that yet.
Right? He's still trying to find that big great white dong in the sky, to impregnate the great white vagina. But so it's great. So now we have a little mix of things going on, and I had a lot of friends that have had kids graduate,
Right.
and kids don't realize, because we're hard on them. I mean, we are who we are.
Definitely.
Because we've been there, done that. Try to get kids to get on the straight and narrow. Do your homework. We're on their ass. Oh my God. Oh really?
Right.
And going to school. And then my thing is I was always into the when I would go to what is it when you meet all the teachers and shit.
PTA?
Or?
No, the parent teacher conference.
Yeah.
Okay. So then you go to the school and you get to meet all their teachers for that year.
Yeah.
And the
Any
boys,
hotties?
the boys. Oh man,
Man, yeah.
I tell you, at Kaiser, the both the boys had the same Spanish teacher.
Oh, I love Spanish teachers.
I mean, I'm of the Asian persuasion, but man, I tell you, this teacher, man. But even when Dylan had her, she was pregnant, and I was like, "You still look good, girl." But
Wait, does Dylan's dad know about this?
But you go to meet the teachers, and I'm the first one. I hand them my business card. Let me tell you something. You know what I mean? If my boy screws up in your class, you just put me on speed dial. Right. Send me an email. I will respond right away. If I've actually sat in classroom with my kids' class before.
Wow.
Yeah, Dylan was screwing up so fucking bad, dude. I went into the class, and you have to get approval. So I actually had to call and talk to the principal. Hey, you know what? My son's been screwing up. I think you know that, and I would like to sit in every single class today, or this day.
Right.
And okay, great. And they're all for that.
Oh yeah.
I didn't know that.
Like,
Oh yeah. Oh, dude, I
proactive
swear to
parents.
God, dude. After that,
Glad my
Dylan straightened
stepdad
right the
didn't
hell
know
up.
that either.
Yeah.
But you have to be that kind of parent. So when you're on top of all that stuff, the kid's like, man, and the other kids are like, oh wow, your dad's so cool. I was like the cool dad.
Yeah.
I was where all the kids went to the house after the football games, after football practice, what have you. All the kids were at my house. And I was like, oh man, your dad's fucking awesome, man. My dad's an asshole. My dad's, always on my ass. He's always making me do. He's always in my business. He's all, homework this and fuck. And I'm telling you, dude. Did you do homework? Yes. Let me see it.
Right.
What? Why? You don't trust me? No. So let me see your homework. Well, I just didn't finish this part. I'll do it tomorrow morning. No. It's 11. It's 10 o'clock at night. You need to do it. Oh, but it's going to take me an hour. Well, you just said that you could do it quickly tomorrow morning.
Right.
If it's going to take an hour, well, I got to go to sleep. I'm tired. Well, guess what? I don't open my shop till
Kids
10
don't need
o'clock.
sleep.
Yeah.
So guess what? You can sit right down here, and I'm going to go on Facebook, and I'm just going to sit there and play fucking Angry Birds until you finish your homework. That's how easy that is. You know what I mean? Because kids don't realize that, graduating high school that's like the little tiny speed bump.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they have no
definitely
idea
not anywhere
that
near
once
like,
after high school, that speed bump turns into a curb, turns into like a brick wall, turns into like a small hill, into and it progresses into a mountain. They don't, and I keep telling my boys like, look. My boys would sit there and have a shit fit, I'd be like, oh, look, sit down. My whole thing is I don't want you to work as hard as I did.
Right.
Okay? I busted my ass. I didn't have that education. Well, if you didn't have that education, why you push me down? Because I don't want you to work as hard as me. I just got done saying that.
Common sense just went.
Right. Obviously you did not hear that.
You know, I want you to, get your hard work done now. If you get a lot of your hard work done up until you're 20, the rest should be a little bit more smooth sailing.
Yeah, when people are hiring and they see somebody that wants to work, that's like, you're in, man.
Yeah.
Because you can tell when somebody comes up and they're just like there to get a job or they're looking for work. It's just like, you want the people that want to work.
Right.
Sometimes they're already working. They might come for an interview and start cleaning up the yard.
Right. You know, or, because, and applying yourself in school, doing your homework, obviously gives you good work ethics.
Right.
You know?
Yep. Learn
And
to apply yourself.
Right. And just get that shit done. You know, it's so much easier just to get something nailed out. Finish it, boom, you go on the next one. I mean, like Theo's Spike. I'm going to throw you under the bus here, brother. So Theo gets taken out on the freeway. And we actually mentioned you on a biker rally.
Oh, okay.
After you first brought the bike to my shop.
Yeah.
It's been a process. We've been waiting for parts and
Right.
and powder coating and getting another frame cage done. Anyways, his bike is on the front lift. Okay, I know I have to get this thing done, but if I can't, I will work until and stop until I get to a certain point. I can't go any further. I need to wait for Theo to bring me something. So, okay, great. But I get it done. If you keep nipping at it, then instead of letting it sit there and then wait, now you have this huge project. But guess what? He brought the frame, he brought the cage in today, and half his bike is actually, I'm almost 3/4 done.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just need to, put the fairings on, drill, chamfer out a hole in the side of his fairing, boom, put the cage on, and there you go. He's back on his bike. Of course, ran into a hurdle when his rim got fucked up.
Yeah.
Oh, and the forks were
and
bent.
the forks. The forks in the front rim. I'm surprised you survived that. He got hit at 65 miles an hour, right? Yeah.
Damn.
Yep, on the freeway. And
a car.
Well, I didn't know if it was a car or a truck or another bike or what.
And dude, hit him so hard. Yeah, Scott hit him so hard it broke. Fortunately, he had the cage on there built by Impact Tech.
Yeah.
Suntran. And it broke. The car broke the fucking cage on it.
Steel cage.
A steel cage.
Jesus.
Yeah. And then you had You had a broken collarbone.
Like my shoulder's still out.
Oh, look at that!
Right.
Damn.
Tore the ligaments and lifted that. They said since I still have range of motion, I didn't have to do the surgery. Really, the way he was explaining it, the surgery would have made it worse because you got to drill the bone that weakens the bone and all that. I'm like, I'm not interested in being put to sleep. So if we don't have to. Like, I'm cool on that. But yeah, and it also, speaks to the mentality of people. Like, to run somebody down and then just take off is, it's definitely a level. Yeah, she bailed. A couple people tried to chase her.
Did they ever catch her?
Well, she didn't have a license plate on the car. So a couple people tried to get her plate because it was stop and go traffic. She jumped in the emergency lane and then just bailed. And a couple people tried to get over and actually get that. But other than make and model of the actual, car, it was nothing. And then it kind of showed me like how much police really don't like bike riders either. Because I'm like, he didn't even try to lie and say, hey, well, we'll try to do what we can do to see if we can find it. He was like, yeah, we're not going to find her. It's just, hopefully you'll be all right. And he just gave me a police report and just walked out. Like, I was like, you could at least like lied. I'd have felt better. Like, hey, well, we're going to do all we can do. I know you're not going to do anything. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's like, but try, like.
Right.
Dave, and compassion.
Dave Rusk, one of the instructors I work with, he's chimed in right now. He says, "What's up, Zig?" We get to share stories like yours.
Yeah.
Because me being a motorcycle shop owner, I get the stories.
Right.
Also the stories, that I share are ones that I've actually witnessed. Mm-hmm. But yeah, then one of the first things we say is that, the driver, boom, bails and tries to be very aggressive.
Right.
How in the hell, like you said, she went in the emergency lane and just boned the fuck out. People are like, and if you're stuck in traffic, all those people see like, wow, look at this fucking person, man. This broad man, all she wants to do is just get home. She's in a goddamn hurry. Not realizing you just took out a fucking rider and you could have been dead.
Right.
You know, that just kills me. So, anyways, but I'm glad you're okay.
Oh,
but
yeah,
definitely. Back to my point is the work ethic thing. Because I mean, Scott, that's French. Scott.
Yes.
So, what college did you go to?
I didn't.
Okay, there you go.
Well, no, I went to Chafe for a short period for like a music thing, but
Yeah, but I mean,
After
but
that, no.
Now, what do you do for a living?
I own my own business. So.
Thank you very much.
Right.
Okay, now here's what my kids throw in my face. Well, you didn't. Well, exactly. But see, I know my craft because that's what I've been doing all this time, 35 years. You know what I mean?
Right,
I've been doing this. So don't use me as an example. As like, oh well, if you didn't do it, I don't have to do it. Right. I don't have to go to college. I don't have to further my education. Because you didn't do it. If you could do it, I could do it. No, when you think that way, majority of people fail.
You set yourself up.
Majority people fail.
Unless you got like $1 million idea already.
True.
Because you could have something that you could work on, but if you're just saying that to get out of shit, then fuck you.
Right. I mean, well, Bill Gates wasn't
Right.
an alumni, so
Yeah.
Well, he dropped
or if
out of
you're-
college.
or if
He
you're
started, but he had $1 million idea.
Right.
Well,
or
several
if you're
billion
like
dollars.
Trump and, daddy can give you a small loan of $1 million.
right. So Scott. So now
I'll choose to own the casino.
There you go.
So Scott, as a business owner, but now here's the thing. How hard did you have to work to do this and become a independent business owner?
Well, I mean, I went through several different. I mean, as a kid, going through job to job to job, you never know what you're going to do. Plus, doing the music thing as well. You're just dumbfounded what you're going to do for your life until you find it. But luckily, I got into appliances and found a place like probably almost 30 years ago now, and started working for them. And I'm already a tinkerer, like you can fix anything and build anything, and I just know what I'm doing in that aspect. So being good with my hands, I learned that really quick, and then went from a couple different places that did it, and then just said, fuck this. I started making my own business cards on my computer and then handing them out to certain customers saying, hey, well, I was working for Sears at the time, and they were overcharging their customers as usual, and the customers would say like, well, is that the best you can do? And I'm like, well, here, give me a call on the side and I'll see what I can do for you. And it just built from there. But building the customer base took a long time. I mean, I have customers I've been dealing with for over 20 years now. And that's where it is word of mouth. It just took a long time, but it's just being persistent and just going and doing it. But yeah, you bust your ass doing it. And it's constant. Like today, it's like I wanted to take Monday off so we can spend one more day there on Sunday. And yeah, now I'm paying for it because now it's like trying to catch up, doing all this work that I've got to schedule and everything else, billing, all that kind of shit. And it's like being dead as a doornail, right? It's like, fuck, not easy. So yeah, you bust your ass no matter what you do. But owning a business too, it's a lot more scary because stupid people could do stupid shit too. Try to take out your business too. Yeah. Especially working in people's houses, $1 million homes. I've done some ridiculous homes out there and some high profile ones as well. So
yeah, so it's basically I mean you're
one scratch of the floor and you're done.
Right.
I worked with the guys who were like right in the middle of the old Ed McMahon case when he was suing some guys because his dog died from mold exposure. I'm using the quotation thing for y'all just listening in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the dog was like 17 years old. Oops, now I've said too much.
Right.
A 17-year-old dog, that's an old dog.
Yeah. He sued the people that were actually like doing the cleanup work for him.
Wow.
That's crazy.
For a dog that was going to die anyway.
Yeah.
Well, when you're going through that, they tell you in the first place to any pets that are, exposed to any of this, you might want to put them in a kennel or somewhere else where they're not going to be exposed to this. But yeah, it's again covering your own ass because no one's going to do it for you.
Yep.
No one's going to find you work. No one's going to do anything. You got to do everything yourself when you work for yourself. That's another thing that's kind of scary, but worth it in the end when you could just take off a day when you feel like it.
Yeah. And it's funny too because like I think there's a different work ethic as well. Like, you know, with this generation, especially coming from our generation, because we have more of an imagination. You know, we had to, you know, even riding bikes, we had to build ramps and, you know, play outside and do stuff like that. Like now they have video games to kind of show and do everything for them.
You could YouTube anything.
So, yeah. So it's like you get into like now they're graduating and having a mentality to where it's like, oh, okay, well, it's just going to be handed to me or I'm just going to be able to
Entitleists.
Yeah.
That's
but you
what
don't
kids are
realize
like. Look it up on the
like,
internet.
what kind of work comes with doing that. Like we were used to doing stuff in our generation. So when it was time to actually create something, our mind was already set up and geared towards that. Instead of having to, you know, like we didn't have YouTube, you know, and things like to figure stuff out. Like we really had to like raw dog just get out and figure these things out, you know, in business and things like that. Like even I laughed kind of like I seen on Facebook, there was a post that actually Will Smith's son did, you know, Jaden Smith, and he's talking about school and, you know, how school is set up, is geared to like train you for prison. You know, it's like, oh, you got these people that are telling you what to do and you're trapped in a class and all that. I'm like, dude, you're being an ass right now. Like, that's training you for work. Like, you have to do that same routine for work.
It's kind of just like
you have somebody
overall.
yeah, I'm like, but you're sitting out here you're a public figure putting out the wrong mental thinking, you know, for everybody out there so they can take on the wrong path. It's like now you're training everybody to not deal with school. If you can't deal with the simplicity of school, life is really going to give you a really hard kick in the ass.
Yeah.
Sounds like it's like a projection of his anger.
And that's
like
what
he's mad at the system, so he's going to tell everybody else that.
And the funny part is you're mad at a system that you're not a part of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when did you go to public school?
No shit.
It's like, so you're complaining about something you were never even a part of.
Yeah.
Like,
But I seen it on YouTube.
yeah, right. Like,
Right.
I've seen videos.
Well, and think about this. When we were kids, it's, you know, we get out of high school. I mean, things seem to be like, oh man, I got this. You know what? You had your buddy, your best friend. Dude, we can get a job at a burger place or, you know, at the docks or something. And I mean, how much is rent? I mean, then we're talking, you know, 83. And you're like going 84 and you're like going, oh man, I mean, rent was like, you know, $450, you know, it's really cheap. Oh man, you know, we can make that in a week and all the rest, we could party.
right.
We could party. So then you get your first place and all of a sudden rent turns into another bill of gas.
Right.
Like natural gas, so you can cook. And then, oh, that's right, we need water. Oh shit, we need electricity.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
We
need food?
Oh yeah, we need food.
That minor thing?
Holy shit, we need food. Oh man. Oh,
That's why you have to learn to live off of ramen noodles for a while.
I need to get to work.
Right.
Because I already had my vehicle. I had my motorcycle, you know, when I was still at my parents' house. I need insurance.
Right. It's like,
I need to pay registration.
yes, and yeah.
So all of a sudden, this money, this figure of money that you had, all of a sudden gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller. All of a sudden, you're like going, well, shit. Who's having a party this weekend that's going to have a keg? Because I can afford to pay $2 to go to suck off that kegs. You know what I mean?
Inverted keg hits.
Right, and it's like, dude, I mean, you don't look at the big picture.
Milwaukee's best on draft does taste better than in cans, but it's still Milwaukee's best.
What's that other one? Burgermeister? Bergie beer? Remember that?
Well,
That was horrible.
Jägermeister, or no, not
Meisterbrow?
Meisterbrow.
Tastes like bud, costs less. That was bad.
But yeah, I remember, Dave. Yeah, the what was in the cupboard was top ramen, mac and cheese. And what was in the refrigerator
Fancy
was
shit.
the Kraft mac and cheese. Oh,
Yep.
come on, man!
Right.
And in the refrigerator was always had hot dog. You had to buy the cheap ones.
Yeah.
The chicken
The bar
franks.
S.
Yeah,
Yeah, the bologna with the red strip around it.
yeah.
I like the Bar S Red Hots. Those are good.
Yeah.
You get like a 24 pack of them or something. It's like
Yep.
10 pounds for $5.
and a gallon of milk, and that's pretty much it. And so tortillas, because
Right.
everything went with tortillas.
Yep.
You know, and that was pretty much what she was eating for a minute.
Yeah.
And then once in a while, I'd be like, going, oh, shit, you know what? all my bills are all caught up. Hey, let's go over to Tommy's Burgers.
Yeah.
Treat myself to a pastrami sandwich. So, and kids don't realize that. Fortunately, I was actually kind of lucky. When Dylan graduated, he
Yeah, minor details. Forgets all this piss in my hands.
I was starting
right.
to forget too.
And thanks for not like loading this thing up, man.
Whoa, I think I did mine
Cheers,
though.
guys. Even 3/4 is still a big shot. I'm
Silver is so much
even
better.
3/4, it's still a big shot. I'm just saying. But so what was I saying? I got distracted by the fucking
That wall.
by the tequila.
Yeah, Dylan graduated. Blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, so Dylan graduated. He went a month later. He got hired at UPS,
Yeah.
which was awesome.
That's a great place to
Yeah.
start.
That's a huge opportunity
That's a great
too.
First job.
Yes, it
That's
was
a career.
and he
could stay there
he's now-
forever.
now he's got benefits and medical and just
hell yeah.
man.
Is he
you
still
know.
with UPS?
Yes, he is.
Yeah, no,
Yeah, he's like going. I'm not going anywhere until I can get in something that's just as good or better.
That's the right thinking.
And that's what I told him.
Make them pay for more school, then
Right?
upgrade.
They will too.
They'll upgrade you in your own company though.
Yeah,
Right.
That's okay. But I told him, I said, "What do you want to be? You want management? You know, what do you want? What do you want to do? You always got to be someone's boss." But I told my boys, whatever career you do, you have to make sure that it's not going to be replaced by artificial intelligence. And
That's like next year.
no, but get this: the Sordal that Dylan was in is going to be all automated.
Whoa.
But they moved him because he's a good worker. They moved him to another area, so where that's not automated, and it's not going to be automated anytime soon, which is nice. So
Right.
he got lucky there. Drake decided to go into mechanics.
Okay.
So he works on heavy equipment.
Okay.
Like diesel trucks, forklifts, scissor lifts. The big shit. Bobcats. And I says, that you're not going to get. If you're a mechanic, that's fine. Like earlier, we went to the AMPM, and the guy there, I'm like, going, hey, long time no see. We're all blah blah. And then I says, he goes, yeah, I've been haven't been around money, but I've been doing a lot for school. I said, oh, really? For college? I said, oh, what college? He goes, I'm going to Chafee. Right on. What are you working on? Mechanics. So I said, what type of mechanics? And he goes, just car. And I go, okay, so high-end cars?
Right.
Because when Drake mentioned it, he goes, I want to be a mechanic. I says, well, what kind of mechanic? He goes, I want to, be like, work on like heavy equipment. I said, okay, good. Well, I'm sorry, let me take it back. He first wanted to work on cars, but I said, okay, what kind of car? Then he's like going, yeah, like maybe like Lamborghinis and Testrosas and being, okay, good. That's good. Because if he would have told me Toyota and,
I wanna work for Honda.
Ford, really, dude? Those mechanics are a dime a dozen, just like the same fucking people that cut haircuts at Supercuts.
Right.
They're a goddamn dime a dozen.
Right.
So you're a diamond in the rough. You get a cut.
Right.
Right. You don't just get this. Okay.
Style with all the gay guys that cut their hair.
Right.
Oh my god! No, when I had shorter hair, when I was actually having to go and get a haircut, the one place I went into was one of those fucking places like that, and there was this gay guy that was going to cut my hair. I'm like, does it have to be him? They're like, why?
I've done that before.
He's really good, and I'm like, I was like, I just said, well, let me go check my calendar real quick. I walked out of there. I was like, fuck
Right.
it. I just went somewhere else. I was like, I'm not having some guy's gay hands all over my head and neck. And, so what'd you do today? And all that bullshit. And like, no.
They start
Extra
feeling
caress.
If I'm going to a
you
barber,
up.
I'd rather go to a
extra
barber.
Caresses and right.
Don't need all that crap.
So he ended up his girlfriend, her uncle, works at a heavy equipment company, and he's like going, he was like when he got his Mustang, So he was helping him out, and then he was getting it. And then her uncle seeing that he had, like mechanical abilities, and because I'd always have them work on their own bikes. I mean, I helped them, but at least they learned how to turn a wrench.
Right.
So he's seen that, and he's like, going, oh, well, this kid's got talent, Let's see how he applies himself. But he was always asking questions. What can I do here? What can I do this? And so he got him a job.
Nice.
And so Drake got
Big Yellow.
Yeah, Drake got a job. So after he was still in high school, so he was kind of like floating. He was getting like a couple dollars under the table,
Cool.
which is why I'm not going to mention the company name.
Dope.
But he was,
if you hadn't mentioned that part.
but he went to school, and I told him, I says, you better graduate,
And he just graduated.
Don't let work. So I told him he couldn't get a job. I said, you can't get a job until you graduate because I don't want it to interfere with you graduating.
Right. But it's
All right.
fun to work during your senior slump year.
Yeah, fuck that senior stuff. I mean, I worked, but I still went to school.
Right.
And it was very draining on me.
Were you working like full time and going to school?
No, I worked the graveyard shift and then went to school.
Yeah, that'll do that. I just had like after school work.
Yeah, no. So what he did is he went to the shop for like 2.5 hours, and he got paid. He was getting paid a couple bucks.
Right.
So he was like, going, okay, great. So now I know what it's like to make money, and he was excited about it, and he kept applying himself, and so he ended up. They said, hey, you know what? And this was like 2 months ago, or I think 3 months ago.
Okay.
So he was there every day. Every day. If he could go there on the weekend, he would. And they finally said, hey, the owner said, hey, you know what? How would you like a job when you graduate? Well, actually, he goes, how would you like to work full time? He said, well, my dad won't let me work full time, not until I graduate.
Right.
And his boss
Good boy.
respected that, And he goes, okay, well, when you graduate, would you like to come on full time? He says, yeah. And so Drake told me,
that.
I'm like, hell yeah. His
Right.
mom helped him do all his paperwork and shit. Because now it's like you have to give him your birth certificate now, dude.
Damn.
Yeah, and not only that,
I had to
your
get
social
mine when I
security
moved to
card.
Cali.
Wow.
So
I had to
it's
write
crazy.
the town where I was born to find my birth certificate because I had a certificate of birth. And the DMV is like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't take that. I'm like, what
Right.
the fuck do you mean you don't take my birth certificate? How am I going to get another one? I didn't know there was two different ones.
Right.
I mean, did you know there's
I
a
didn't know there
certificate
was-
of birth
I didn't know
and
there
then a
was
birth
two either.
certificate? One's written at the hospital, the other's like the county clerk.
Right. They're actually even doing that with the license now. It's like there's a real license and there's a fake license.
What?
Like one of them says like federal laws apply or something like that. It keeps you from traveling or buying firearms.
Aw.
And they didn't tell
Oh,
me
what the
until
fuck?
after I spent 4 hours in the DMV getting that one. They were like, oh, in order to get the other one, you have to bring your birth certificate and your social security card and proof of residence. I was like,
Fuck.
wow.
Fuck.
I never heard of that. That's some
Yeah.
Democratic bullshit.
Right.
Well,
right.
it is, and you know what's stupid is because you're the same fucking person you've been for the last 30
Right.
goddamn years since you got your license. Nothing's changed.
Right.
Nothing's changed. And I was told because I have to renew my driver's license at my by my birth date. So I haven't got the notice yet. I think they sent it 4 months in advance, right?
Yeah, Tiff just
So-
got hers. Hers is due this year.
Yeah, and it's like I gotta. Why do I have to go in? You already know me. You already have all this information.
As
you
long as your
really
record's
do.
clean, you can just do it through mail.
No, you have to go in.
yeah.
Now you have to go in and give
go
them your birth certificate, a proof of residence, and your social security card. You know that. Nothing's changed. It's the same fucking face. I mean, go on your computer,
Well, okay,
pull
then-
the pictures up. I'm just a little bit fatter. I'm a lot fatter than I was a few years ago.
Is this one of those things that was on one of those ballots that we should have voted against?
Yes,
It probably was.
It was.
You know
Yeah,
what?
but
it
it was
was.
probably worded completely
Okay,
different.
then-
It's like some
Right.
sort of California anti-terrorist act.
Then why the fuck do we have to go through all that fucking hassle and bullshit when we've been citizens for all these years, our whole lives?
The whole life.
And then all these immigrants can come in the fucking country and just get a license, bam, like that. No bullshit. They don't have anything
It
to
actually
show
doesn't
who they
work
really
like
are.
that.
Bullshit.
They don't-
Bullshit.
or you can get a state ID.
No, they can
No,
get
no,
whatever
they
they
gotta
want.
go
They
through-
get free grants from the fucking government. They get free fucking insurance, welfare, all that bullshit.
You know you're full of shit, right?
No, I'm not.
Those grants are available to everybody.
No,
How
they're
many
not.
have you
They're not.
applied for?
No, they're not because I
No,
applied
grants
for one.
are available for everybody.
This
See?
this is for this
See?
is
He
for
has applied.
This is
He
for
knows.
another show, and I didn't get it. This is for another
Thank
show.
you.
Right.
So now, because I'm on Scott's side on this one. But anyways, so see, we got build the wall. Wow, see how fast it fucking made a right hand turn. And we're talking like crank the wheel to right, fucking grab the fucking work
That's
brake,
right.
man, tripped around that corner.
That's what we could do with all the problem kids is make them build the wall for us.
Exactly.
Right. So now you got now. I'm kind of curious. I have a question I'm going to throw to people out there. Again, you can tune in on chaoticradio.com, download the app on your phone. You can tune into Chaotic Radio live on YouTube, and of course, obviously, if you're watching me right now, then you are already tuned into FB Live. We got quite a few people going up there. We got happy faces, and how do you people do that? Because I'm looking at my screen and happy faces and hearts.
There's a little
are
button on the
there's a
keyboard
little-
that goes to them.
and little thumbs are like popping up and stuff.
Like here,
That's a trip.
I'll show you on my phone. When the keyboard's up, there's usually like a little button right there, and then
Okay.
it goes to different.
So hit it, and then does it go on? Does it?
I'm on like somebody's text.
Oh, okay. So you start sending them fucking stuff like, what the hell you want? What do you want, you perv? See, look. And here they come. So now everyone's starting to
Is there a ding dong?
because Zig is the techno idiot.
There actually is an icon for that.
Is there a ding dong?
No, they
Yeah, there's like a little finger pointing.
That's funny. So I'd like to know those of you that are paying attention on YouTube and on Kaotic Radio and FB Live. So I mean, if you have a kid that's getting ready to graduate or has graduated, let's say it has graduated. What are they doing right now? Because I mean, that was like me. I started working when I was still in high school, so I didn't know what the difference was to go from high school and being on this free ride.
Right.
Mom and dad were taking care of things. I mean, I went to school. I came home. I ate. I slept. I took a shower. And
Yep.
nothing came out of my pocket. I had to do a couple chores.
Yeah.
But that was about it. And all of a sudden, it's boom, and now all of a sudden, okay, now, so what are you going to do? Where are you applying for a job?
Right.
Are you going to go to, now, if you're going to go to college,
school,
I
you
can
gotta-
understand that.
Well, you still need a summer
So let's
job.
just say,
Because you need beer money for college.
That's actually true.
well, Dylan went right into college right after school, and it was just hard. He just didn't want to. He wanted to do one thing. He's like, I'm not interested. Well, see, that's the pressure that you get from high school. So when I told him, I says, you know what? If you want to take a little bit of a break, if you take a year off, and think about what you really want to do. I mean, you just got out of high school. You've been doing since you started realizing things. Right. You've been going to school. If you need to take a little bit of a break, I can understand that.
Right.
We as
Yeah,
adults,
with college,
fuck, we
you can
need
go
a
back
vacation,
anytime.
right?
It's
Yeah.
like with high school, you finish that shit because you
Yes.
can't go back. Now you have to go back and get a GED if you don't finish high school.
Exactly.
And then when people see that on your resume, there's going to be a lot more doors closing. So finish
Exactly.
high school, but if college isn't like working the thing, or if you need to work and do stuff, you can always go back to that.
Well, you can also go to a trade school. So at least when an employer sees that, at least they understand that, you know what, you went and pursued an education and pursued yourself in a career placement. You know what I mean? I want to be a mechanic. You know what I mean? It's
Right.
like you can't go to RCC and become like a really great mechanic like Drake wants to do.
Right.
I don't know. I bet you
don't
they
even
got
think
good
they have
facilities
it.
there.
I don't even think they have
That's a big ass fucking community college. I bet you they do. Let's put a wager. You think they got some good shop there?
I don't think so.
Actually, he's probably right.
Another
Right.
thing.
Probably on that side.
Another thing with kids going to college is like they can spend all that money trying to be a doctor or a lawyer, all that bullshit. But a doctor specifically, like, and then they get the job, and can't stand the fucking
Right.
sight of blood. or faint the first time they see a corpse
not
or
to
some
mention
bullshit.
hundreds of thousands of dollars of student loans by that point.
Well, that's it. But it's like I'm saying, you can have a rich parent that'll pay for all that bullshit. Oh, I want my kid to be a doctor. Okay, then
You
pay all that bullshit.
probably know you didn't like blood before that, though.
You never know.
Yeah.
Experience is everything. That's my
probably
point.
why the dude that I started a business with, like everybody in his family was a doctor, and he was like the black sheep of the family. We were just starting an asbestos lab. I was like, okay,
Right.
but maybe that was his deal. He just didn't like blood.
Yeah.
I usually like kind of recommend taking the time if like for kids that actually, cause especially being in the shop, I talk to a lot of kids that come through. So I kind of encourage that. I'm like, if you really don't know and people have been filling your head with ideas of what they think you should do because you're an individual, like, and as a human, the good thing about it is you can actually create yourself to be whoever you want to be. It's like, so once you take that pressure off, because if you ride with the pressure, I ended up with student loans from going into architecture. And then I went to go be an architect and I hated it. I'm still paying for it. It's like I still got to pay. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing what I love to do.
What are they going to do?
Paying for
Repossess your
something
brain?
I didn't want to do because I was listening to other stuff. And so it's just like, you know, people can pressure you into going in a direction and that's just not who you were meant to be.
Yeah.
It's like you got to figure out who you were meant to be and then go in that direction because if you follow somebody else's path, you're going to pay for it at the end of the day.
Right.
Like, so if you're going to pay for something, pay for being you. Like pay for doing what you feel like you were born or birthed to do, whether that, and if that's not college, like it's okay. It's like, you just know like, okay, we'll create a path. Like life is about decisions. Like you don't get up in the morning and get in the car and just drive. There's always a destination.
Yep.
It's like, so once you figure out your destination, then you set your route and you go that way. It's like, but if you don't have a destination, then okay, well take a minute, take a breather. If you have help, sometimes you don't have an option. You got to get into something. But then there's trade school. I even tell kids there's military. I'm like, if you got to do it, I'm like, you can be smart about it. It's like they're going to give you medical and, and schooling and everything for life. So if you don't have a direction, don't just get out here and just not do anything. Like, there's a place where you can actually, sit and actually get a decent lifestyle and be doing really, really great until you figure it out. And then that's actually a good foundation to build on. It's like you can stay in the military or you can get out and use your options. It's like my brother did that and he actually had a learning disability. Mm-hmm. It's like, and he was actually able to make that work for him. He used their school. He used the shit out of their free everything. Like he still gets out military discount, everything. It's like he's using all of that stuff, but it was a smart way to go. And as the oldest, I always did have a concern for him because it was like, okay, well, you have dyslexia. Like you can't read and you can't write. So, like, what can you do? Like, as his brother, I always have to be worried, like, dang, well, where's he going to end up? What is he going to do? And that was the best route for him. He was able to travel the world, and he figured out, and then he used that free education to even get that basic education that he needed. Yeah. Now he's perfectly fine. He's, out flipping houses and doing real estate and, doing great stuff. But it was still, he found a route where he was able to actually go ahead and say, okay, well, I don't have to get stuck in the rut. I definitely don't have to be homeless. And I don't have to do what everybody else told me I need to do. Like I can get out here and just, figure out what works for me. Mm-hmm. And so that was the smartest thing he ever did. Like smartest thing. And definitely. I'm, definitely proud of him for doing that. I know you watching. I'm proud of you, bro. But that was the best thing for him was figuring out who he was going to be and then heading out his own direction on how that was going to make him successful. Instead of listening to everybody else's crap, because they're going to tell you, yeah, well, you need to do this or you need to do that. Mm-hmm. And it's not necessarily true, but you do need a direction.
It's better for kids to be given that choice to do what's best for themselves rather than being told what to do.
Right.
Actually, what I want to do is I want to give a shout out to Oliver Lawyer for Manifestation. Manifestation was a fucking awesome.
That was the band from Germany.
Yeah, from Germany,
cool
man.
Oh, yeah.
So Oliver's chiming in. What's up, Oliver, dude? Right on, brother. Man, they came out and they started their tour here. They started the tour in the studio. So they didn't play, But we played their music. But they came in and when they left the next day, they were on the road, dude. It was awesome. They did the West Coast tour. So what's up, dude? I'm still rocking their shit, dude. I haven't played the vinyl yet. I'm saving that one, dude. I think I'm saving that one for like New Year's Eve.
Yeah, that's special occasion.
Yeah,
right
they gave me a signed vinyl, man. I have a 45. I have a 45. I can play that shit. I'm gonna rock it, dude. These guys kick ass. So all the way from Germany, we got a guy Oliver chiming in. So and Tiff says ding dong.
That's because I put the poop emoji and then put a finger ding dong. You don't. My thing is, I didn't, because most kids don't know what they're going to go into,
right?
And I think they're under the doctor thing. It was, let me pressure you into doing this because this is what the family. It's been a family, thing.
Right.
We all need to be doctors or lawyers or blah blah. Dude, being a doctor that's a lot of freaking work.
It's a lot of insurance money you got to pay out.
Right.
Shit.
They don't make as much money as you think they do.
Right.
Bullshit.
Insurance costs are very expensive.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they don't make money.
It's because of doctors. Why they fucking pray that and all the free shit that they give to all these immigrants.
Oh, here we go.
Oh no!
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
But so back to my thing, as I said, hey Dylan, if you want to, take a year off, figure out what you want to do. That's okay.
Right.
I'm by in no means am I going to diss his mom, but his mom was like, oh no, you need to go to college. So he did it, and then he was like, what, it's too much right now. He's working at UPS. He had the schoolwork and shit like that. He was getting like 3 hours sleep, and he's just like, I can't do it. He's like, Dad, says, well, son, figure out something that you want to do. I mean, if what you thought you wanted to do when you were in high school does not suit you now, then you don't have to do it. Don't sit there and pursue something for the next 4 or 6 years and go to school for all this. And then also like, this job sucks.
Right.
I don't want to do this.
Hate it. You wake up every morning like, fuck. I got to do this job. Like, did anybody else have that feeling?
Oh, yeah. No, I did.
I'm like,
did forklift driving free. I went and got my license for it and all that shit. Did the safety class, too. And another reason it pisses me off about that same subject I was just talking about. I went to work for a place and it was for a temp agency, but nothing in there said that I had to speak Spanish.
Yeah,
I went in this place and worked there, and I'd worked in several places doing forklift and no problem, but this particular place was a fencing company I won't mention, but. Anyhow, went in there and did my job perfectly, and no, they're like
other kind of fencing.
Jesus Christ!
I just got that.
I didn't know there was a fencing company out there that hired forklift drivers, but anyway,
but they got a lot of fencing suits.
No,
to
but
put on the warehouse shelves.
So anyhow, I'm doing my job and I'm doing it fine, and the manager calls me in and goes, "Oh, I need to have a talk with you." I said, "Well, what's going on? Did I do something wrong?" And, "Oh, no, you're good. But only problem is a lot of the workers are having a problem understanding you." I said, "Understanding me? What? Don't they speak English?" No, they don't.
A typical response.
I said, "Well, when was it in my job description that I have to learn another language to do my job in America, which is a English speaking?" Society.
Actually, it's both English and Spanish.
Now it is. Fuck off.
It's been like
no.
Remember, America actually acquired California.
Oh, bullshit.
There was people here before we acquired it.
Yeah, and
you know what language they spoke?
And
Spanish.
And you know what?
You know what they were called? Californios.
What? I don't give a fuck what they're called. They're called fucking immigrants now. I don't care. No, the fucking point is you fought for your land back then. And they fought for it and they lost. So fuck off. If they can't take it, then take your fucking beating and get the fuck out. Right. Like everybody else, like the Indians, the cowboys used to fight. Like you fight for what you had back then. Yeah. That was then, this is now. It's totally different society. So anyone that gives you that bullshit, I don't want to hear it. Anyhow, So when he wanted to demote me down to an assembler.
You know they get free health care.
Wow.
Fuck that. Yes, they do. Yeah.
All right, go ahead.
So anyhow, that was
So you
my
got
point.
demoted because you didn't speak Spanish.
Exactly.
That is fucked up.
Yes, and that is one of my aggressions towards that because it's bullshit. This is America. No, it's English-speaking society, and now there's pussified, and everyone just bows down
They're
to them.
sensitive to it,
and like,
yeah.
oh, we got to give them the right. Or what do they call them now? The dreamers.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
You know what? You just need to eat some salchichas. That'll make you feel
They
better.
can suck my salchicha.
Well, the cool part, I mean, and even on that, like the cool part is like I always think, because if I was actually to move, to Mexico or to Tokyo or wherever, it's like
I'd have to acquire
I
that.
have to
Yeah.
adjust. Like I now have to change basically myself over into being able to survive.
Exactly,
there.
and it's called respect for that country.
Right.
They don't have it, obviously.
Right.
Yeah.
But-
None of them.
Yeah.
Well, the ones that acquire it do it right. Hey, the ones that actually acquire it do it right. I give them kudos.
Right.
Absolutely.
It's like you keep both languages.
See, this is what happens when I go take a
give 'em
piss.
Barracudas?
See, we're talking about fucking kids and getting jobs and shit. As soon as I walk out of the goddamn room, all I know is that Scott was driving a forklift, and then all of a sudden, when I had to speak English.
Actually, you know what a good example for kids would be is some of the people that have come here from other countries and started their own fucking business. Because I get sick of hearing kids saying like, "Oh, all the jobs are taken," or you can't start your own business and this and that. And the fact is, like, people can start a business and make a shit ton of money doing it and be super successful and come from literally nothing.
Right.
Yeah, but
So don't give me that excuse.
There's a lot of people that actually don't even just take the time. Like, and that's again from our generation. You have that creativity. Like, there was actually a lady that was asking for money. And it's a cool little chick. But I was like, you know what? I'm not a fan of just giving out money. It's like, but I have a shop right down the street. It's like, if you can go ahead and come, do a little cleaning for me, I'll pay you for that. She's like, all right, cool. And she comes over. She does a great job. And then I end up paying her. I was like, actually, how come you actually don't, instead of being homeless, like do a cleaning service? She was like, well, no one wants maid service. I was like, sometimes you have to help people understand they do. It's like, if you say I'm a maid, like I'm even going to tell you no. It's like, but I bet you if you come to my house and say, hey, today I'm doing a special on bathrooms, I'll clean each bathroom that you have for $5. You're cleaning my bathroom. I'm telling you right off the, I hate cleaning the tub. It's like,
That's
you know what I mean?
just the
Like,
worst.
I ain't cleaning the toilet. I don't like cleaning the tub.
toilet's the easiest thing.
I don't like anything in the bathroom.
Yeah, like if you're coming in, you're gonna clean my toilet and my tub $5 all day. It's like
Damn, that's
and
cheap
come
as
back
shit.
next week. Yeah, you know what I mean. But if you do 10 houses and each house has 2 bathrooms, you just got yourself $100. So now you don't have to ask me for money. You got money for a room. You have money to eat. Like you can shower and chill, like and you can actually come up with a route and just survive just off of that. Now, eventually, somebody's going to be throwing a party or something like, hey, well, I know you're doing the bathrooms, but you think you could actually do this living room and this kitchen. I was like, people need services. You just can't put it out there in a term that they feel like they don't need. Like, no, I don't need a maid. I don't need you to clean my whole house. I got kids. You know what I mean? I was like, my 15 and 16-year-old, they're going to clean the dishes and all that. But all of us hate the bathroom. It's like, and you could literally survive off of a small creative idea like that. But because you just quit and throw your hands up, it's like now you're out here begging for money. It's like when it's something as simple as that. It's like, take this $20 I'm giving you and go get you some kaboom and some kaboom.
And a sponge.
I'm like, yo, you can even get some Coke. Get some Coca-Cola and clean the tub with that. It takes the corrosion off of batteries.
It does.
It does. 79 cents and you got a giant thing of Coke that's going to clean 2 bathrooms.
That's pure phosphoric acid.
Right. It's just funny. I'm like, but it's just that creativity. And, if you've been playing video games and things like that, you haven't had to be creative.
Well, one of the things that I've noticed nowadays is which we call the entitlement.
Right.
You see a lot of kids that just have this entitlement mentality because everything's just been handed to them. And it started, I used to be the flag football coach for Dylan when he was younger, and I was the base. Well, he was in baseball too, so I was a baseball coach. And then when Drake did baseball, I was a baseball coach on that also.
Okay.
Drake wasn't a football guy. He didn't. Now he wouldn't mind taking or giving a punch, but
He's got a
like
little
when
size
he was
now.
when he was little, besides now he was like going, oh hell no.
Right.
But they started. Everyone got a trophy.
Right.
See, when I played baseball, when I played football, there was the only 3 teams that got trophies was the one that came in first place, one came in second place, one came in third place. All the rest got a participation.
The piece of paper
that you put in a frame and you put it participated.
Right.
Okay, so basically that's letting you know that okay, you participated, but you didn't succeed.
I always thought that was like fake thing. It's actually true. Like people do get participation trophies.
That's
what the
so
fuck?
gay.
Yeah,
I thought people were just saying that on the internet.
Oh no,
They
no,
got to pat him on the pussy.
right. It's
Right.
dude, no, you need to get just that little piece of paper.
Fuck that.
And then look at that, and then look at your buddy who was on the other team that got a trophy.
Right.
And go like, see, I want that.
Exactly.
I want.
It gives you something to work for.
It creates that hunger.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what it does. It creates a something in your head like, you know what, dude? I need to strive better. What do I need to do to get that?
Right.
That's what I want. It's just like when you go out to get a job, and if you love your job,
I thought he was going to say joint.
It's anything. No, even music. I mean, I got a buddy named Chris Moore. He's a phenomenal drummer. Drums at a lot of different.
God damn it! Fuck, dude. Really? Are you fucking serious? What? Dude, you need to put some of this back.
No, you're good. You got
That's
this.
fine.
You got this.
No. Just,
No, it's just a little bit.
Here's
It's
the
only
thing. See,
halfway.
this shot, it is not fucking halfway. It's
this.
3/4 of the way.
No, that's this.
This
Same
is
as
a big
this.
ass fucking shot.
He filled mine and then put it in yours. It's the same thing.
Yeah, I filled it all the
Guys,
way.
I swear.
So it's
I
like
accidentally filled it
it's a
all the way to
quarter
the
of an inch
top.
difference.
Scott's like, put it in Zig's. So I did.
They're like, oh, Zig's got a DD.
anyway.
He doesn't care.
So Chris, he just got a job, busting his ass for all these years, working for that Rock of Ages thing in Vegas, and it's a great job and it's a great thing. But it's like you can't just go in there and say, "Hey, how do I sign up?" You got to bust your ass and do the work.
Yeah.
And I've got other friends, a lot of them are higher, but this guy's been just trying to go from small things to bigger things and bigger things. It's like that's how you do it. He got into Soul Tone, and we were talking about both our endorsements, and it's like you got to work for that too.
Yeah.
You don't just get shit handed to you. But
Damn it.
no, but I mean, it's that work ethic. This guy's been. He put a post out today that said, "Hey, a musician saying, how did you get on the Rock of Ages thing?" He put me, 10 years of hard work.
There you go.
That simple. Is that you got to bust your ass to get what you want, no matter what it is.
That's a really common theme in the music
Right.
industry in general. It's just like a lot of people put in a shit ton of hard work.
Well, you can't think you're some rock star just because you play the whiskey or some bullshit. It's like you got to bust your ass. I mean, I've never worked so hard being with fucking the Crowley guys. It's like it's a lot of hard times and a lot of bullshit that you got to go through. But it's a lot of hard work too to perfect. Whoops! Christ, who's vibrating over there?
The JJ's vibrator is buzzing.
Yeah. So I mean, it's the same thing. No matter what these kids want to do when they grow up, they got to bust their ass. They can't just expect to be handed like all these new millennial kids are fucking sitting there coming up, going, "Oh, why can't I have this and that?" No, you can't.
They
You
got
got to
a
work
trophy
for
for participation.
I like
Exactly.
the millennial kids.
it. You got a pussification trophy. I'm sorry,
Right.
I like all these kids that
That's exactly what that is.
There's so many
Exactly.
kids that like book the trend of that, though. I mean, I know there are a lot of people that do shit like that, but then there's people that just start their own businesses doing online stuff, teaching us about shit we didn't know.
Yeah.
It's just like people fork out $5 for a little online training class, and that shit adds up too.
Yeah.
So
Anything.
there's people making
make a-
shit tons of money doing stuff.
You can make a business out of anything,
Yeah.
Yeah, it could be the
And if you have
stupidest
money, you
fucking
can be
idea.
entitled.
or even an idea.
Yeah.
Or
This-
piggyback off of somebody else's idea. Like
Right.
Or
I
improve
actually,
another idea.
Yeah, because I actually ended up buying a car, and like a little Toyota Scion, and I actually lease it out to a guy so he can work for Uber and Lyft. I don't want to drive. I have no interest in driving around after I get out of the shop. So, you know, I was basically, okay, well, you know, $250 a week and you can use my car. So, you know, It's another grand, like, you know, and I could actually probably get a couple more and do the same thing. Like, but it's just an idea. Like, you know, I knew, like, my goal right now is to actually buy a house. And I had, with me being single and then with my kids, now they were like, okay, well, you make enough, but you don't make enough. You got to figure out how to double your income. I'm not getting another job. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah. And being self-employed, it makes your, you know, unless you want to pay out your ass in taxes, you gotta make
passive
your
income is a great idea because you can make money on the
amount.
side.
Right. And so it's like, you know, stuff like that. And it's funny because, you know, my nephew, me and my brother had actually explained that to my nephew because he just played this last weekend in a basketball game. They were undefeated. The other team was undefeated. They were going at it, you know, and then 2 minutes into the end of the game, you know, the game's almost over. And then they end up just stopping the game while they're tied. And they were like, okay, well, you know, we're just going to call everybody winners. And I'm like, they have 2 minutes left.
What?
They stopped the game with 2 minutes left.
They stopped with 2 minutes left and just
Oh,
like, hey,
hell no.
you guys are undefeated.
I would not allow
we're
that
just
shit
going
if
to
I was
I'm just
playing.
like, wait a minute. No, I'm like, you're teaching
Everybody's
the
a
kids such
winner.
a bad. Yeah, I'm like, that's such a terrible lesson.
Was there like a thunderstorm coming where everybody was going to die?
Right. Like, and there should have been. I was just like, that was such. So we actually had to sit down with my nephew and just say, hey, you know what? You know, I'm sure that you had fun, but you missed a lesson because I would rather you have taken that L. So, you know, next time you just got to work harder. You know what you need to work at. You know what you need to get better at, you know, things like that. And there's so many different areas where they're coddling kids now. Like even now, mind you, I don't condone bullying at all, but we all dealt with it. You know, everybody got talked about. Everybody had some kind of issue or something they had to grow up with. And I feel like in school, like, you know, that's when you go back to your parents and your parents help you deal with those circumstances because that helps you deal with the assholes that are in life.
Yeah.
Like just because you graduated school now, okay, well, you're dealing with a whole nother area of asshole now. It's like, you know, it could be your boss. It could be a coworker. Everybody, you know, most people that got a regular job have somebody at their job. They want to whoop their ass tomorrow morning. If this, like, as soon as you wake up, like, fuck, I got to go to this job. Right. And then right after you're like, damn, I got to go to this job. You're just like, man, if this dude say something to me today, it's like, I swear I'm just going to put it all up. And, you know, and then, of course, you're battling that and the fact that you got bills. So it's like, but, you know, when you grow up, like high school is where all that stuff starts, even school in general. So it's like my kids, you know, they'll get picked on for little stuff like that. And, you know, and everything, you know, that kids will be messing with. And I'm just like, you know, like my daughter, she actually wanted to quit playing basketball because the coach was harder because one of the team captain was picking on her. I'm just like, look, I sat her in the car. I'm like, okay, you can quit. We can drive and we can leave today. I was like, but I'm telling you, like, you're used to looking at my lifestyle and you want to be able to be self-employed. You want to be able to make your own life. I had to deal with a whole lot of that. It's like, so you have to survive that to be where I'm at. You got to do what I did to get where I got. So don't punk out. It's like, you don't have to allow anybody. I'm like, you don't even care about that person. That person means nothing to you. So why does their opinion even matter? It's like, you have to look at them and just say, hey, you know what? If you don't talk to me right, I'm not going to respond to you. And that's how you deal with that circumstance. You don't let the team captain just keep talking to you crazy and all that. And then you go in the corner and cry. Just say, look, I won't hear you until you learn how to address me correctly. It's like, and she's eventually going to do it. It's like, but that's how you handle it in the right manner. It's like, you can't just run off. It's like, we're not going to drive away and then people can keep bullying you out of stuff. Like, you have to learn how to deal with
like that.
Right. Like, but for me, I'm like, I've always taught my kids, I'm like, look, right is right and wrong is wrong. I don't condone disrespect in any agenda. I was like, but before you do the disrespect, you need to come tell me what's going on. So I know when they call me where we're at.
Good point.
Like, hey, well, I've come to you as the school, and because usually I'll bring it up. I'm just like, hey, well, my daughter's dealing with this. You guys need to work that out. I don't want to come back here. So I'm like, and they'll deal with it. If they don't, when I come back, whatever she said or whatever she did is completely irrelevant to me because I've talked to you about that. Mm-hmm. It's like, so she's off the loop. Now I'm on your head about what didn't happen after I talked to you. So I teach them the correct way and how to actually take ladders and steps into making the right directions. And that works also for life. So now it's like when you get in your job, if you have a coworker that's irritating you, harassing you, or doing whatever, now you already know those correct steps on how to deal with that area. So it's like it starts in school. It's like, and we can't keep babying kids and putting them off and have to deal with their moms about the shit all the time. It was like, because their moms, they're just like, oh, well, poor baby, this, that, and the third. And then, she'll tell me, well, you need to be more sensitive. No, that's not what the fuck you're here for. Like, you can do that. Like, when they're riding a bike and they fall, you can, let's get a Band-Aid and all that. I'm life lessons. That
dad. Actually is pretty sensitive. The way you're able to look at that situation and be able to tear it down. That is being sensitive.
Right.
Well, not only that is my kids had had some tough teachers.
Yeah.
Which, you know what? I mean, we all had tough teachers.
Right,
right. And they
Some
were
of them are
always
just
the
assholes.
Right. Well, no, I've had asshole teachers.
Like, there are teachers that have it out for you.
No, I've had asshole teachers and I've had tough teachers. And,
Yeah.
And
there is
now
a difference.
looking back, I mean, of course, at that time I didn't know the difference until I became an adult.
Right.
But the tough teacher was the one that
You're
was
an adult?
actually going to not at heart. Was actually going to prepare me for, life.
Yeah.
It not just sit there. The asshole teacher's the asshole.
Right.
I mean, assholes are assholes.
And there's bosses like that too.
It just happens. But and kids, that's the whole thing. They think, oh well, I can't wait to. Remember how you were like, I can't wait to fucking graduate.
Yeah.
I cannot wait to get out of high school.
Right.
If they were to know what we know now,
yeah.
I mean, how many times? I mean, think about it. I mean, how many times have you guys actually said like, "Man, what I
Wish I
wouuld
could
give
go
just
back."
to go 1 week, 1 week, including 2 weekends,
Right.
because the weekends were the partying. That's when you're
Yeah.
getting laid. But
Right.
just 1 week, just to go back and relive that and think about what you could have done differently.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I still would have drank a lot of beer.
Oh, I mean, I would drink a lot of beer, but I probably would have. But see, the things I would have.
I'd probably drink more.
Yeah.
I would have applied myself better in a lot of different courses. You know what I mean?
I would've, too.
I just would have. I mean, I'm not an idiot. I'm stupid, but I'm not an idiot.
I might have punched one of the teachers that was an asshole, come to think of it.
Oh, did you really?
No, I said I might have if I went back. I was like, because I've never
I
thought
wanted to
about
punch
that
one of
before.
my principals.
Oh, yeah.
Oh man, yeah.
I had
Didn't
one.
we all?
His come over was longer than Trump's.
You can't imagine how much that irritates me. Every time I see that on TV, I'm like, oh, you're the president and you have a great
He's like,
clipped
let me fix
barber
that.
in the White House. I really would.
Theo's like, let me tweet Trump. Hey, dude,
Let me play with it a little bit.
just send a helicopter.
Is that right?
Evac. I want to just drop me off at the White House. Let me clean that fucking head up for you.
I mean, honestly,
And I'm telling you, he could too. He
probably
could make the president look presentable, man.
probably
'Cause I got to
better
admit,
just
Obama had a nice Obama had a nice fade, man. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but Trump wouldn't pay for it.
Right. Right.
Oh my God! But the kids they see my boys now, and not only is it not only getting into the working world, but now they're having to start figuring out how to manage money. See, managing money
point.
before wasn't a big issue. So when they had
Right.
their birthday, I'm sure Scott, because you have your son and daughter.
well,
right.
I've got an older daughter too. She's 28.
Okay. Oh, so you do have one that fucking graduated. We were talking about this earlier, dude.
Wouldn't say she graduated.
Totally. Okay.
She graduated into life. Yes.
But it was like when it came down to like whatever, like, oh, Dad, can I get a couple bucks? It was no problem. Okay,
Right.
all right, go to movies with my buddies, or when they got their birthday money or money for
Yeah.
Christmas or whatever it was, that money was gone.
Yeah.
Like that. Like the next day, it was. Well, you just got $300 for your birthday. You know, 2 days later, they're like
$300. What are you,
Jesus
fucking rich?
Christ,
Dude,
man.
Oh, dude! Now I'm telling you, dude.
Yeah,
The boys.
Yeah, your boys are spoiled as fuck.
No.
Talk about some entitled ass bitches.
No, see, no. Here's we have to make sure we backtrack here.
Jesus.
It's not that they are spoiled. It's that we have a fucking huge family.
Yeah.
So you get $5 here, $20 here. It adds up very
accumulates.
quickly. Okay. So
See, it pays to be Mexican.
I thought you were just handing him $300. Like, here you go, son.
No.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
Oh no. Oh
There's
no.
your free healthcare, Scott.
$300.
Parents and aunts and uncles and
I'll kick him in the nuts and say, "Hey, that was worth $300 to me."
Nice.
No, but
get a cut though,
but
right?
the kid. Then all of a sudden, like their birthday comes, and they get all the the first thing they're gonna read the fucking card. They open it up. Yes, card. Ding, 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 ding. And then next thing you know, 2 days later, hey Dad, I need to borrow $20. I'm gonna go to the arcade with Johnny, or I'm gonna go to the movies with what? Wait a second. You just had your birthday. Where's your birthday money? Oh, I spent it on what? On bullshit.
they don't even know.
What if they
On
bought
the,
stocks and it was like all put away?
Yeah, no,
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
If, though.
fuck ever.
You can get the money from me if that's the answer.
Yeah.
Show me some stocks. Oh, well, yeah,
Right.
I got $20 for you because hell, you'll probably spend 10 and invest the other 10. Like,
Right?
Yeah.
And
Great idea.
Yeah,
and
y'all
so
guys
now-
need to be listening.
Like you're learning.
Well, so here's the thing: is I told my boys, says, look, like Dylan, when he graduated, got his job, I said, okay, now here's the deal, because we pay for everything at that point, clothes,
Yeah.
food, whatever. I said, okay, so I want my boys to ease into life. So I
Right.
said, okay, now Dylan, now that you got a job, you can pay for your own gas, you can pay for your own insurance,
Right.
you can pay for your own registration, you can pay for your own clothes.
There it is.
Okay, so that's those
nice
those are
start.
some things. Yeah, it's a nice start. I'm not trying to rape his ass on his money. So I'm okay. I'll tell you, I'll still take care of the overhead.
Right.
All right, Drake, same thing. All right, Drake, guess what? Now you want clothes? You can buy your own clothes. You can pay for your own insurance, your own gas. Blah blah blah. I'm still going to pay for the groceries, the roof,
Right.
the electricity, and the gas and the water. And so now they're starting to realize I need to. Okay, well, I got my paycheck,
Yeah.
but I need to take this paycheck and start figuring out
Prioritize and figure out where it goes. Yeah.
where that money's got to go. And man, and I'm telling you, and my boys actually, Dylan actually thanked me a couple months ago. He's like, you know what, Dad, I really appreciate everything you've done.
Yeah.
You now I realize, and there's that aha moment,
Right.
you know, when they realize, wow, I mean, because you have 3 girls, am I correct?
Yeah.
Oh my God,
Yeah,
man.
man.
Oh my
And
God,
that's one of the biggest things. Between them,
and a single parent,
yeah,
at the same time.
yep. And it's funny. I mean, and even in between them and then the kids that come through the shop, like money management is probably one of the biggest things I talk about on a consistent basis. Just because people get the ideas like, oh, if I just had a lot of money, if I had millions, if I had this, I'm like, no, you would just have $1 million problems. It's like
Exactly.
money management is how you deal with it. I'm like, you don't have to be extremely rich. You just have to learn when to tell yourself no and when to tell yourself yes. How to put your money where it should go and how to put your money where it shouldn't. It's like, and it's funny because like all their friends think that too. It's like, oh, your dad's rich, this, that, and the third, because they got a nice car, and my bike and stuff like that. I'm just like, no, that's just me knowing how to tell myself no. It's like I even go on trips. I had a guy one of my friends that I know, he thought that too. He's just like, oh man, he's like, you got money like this, that, and the third. I was like, okay, well, let me bring up a point. It's like, you have on these Jordans. It was like, probably cost you like $250. He was like, yeah, right around there. I was like, well, my flight to Colombia was $340. He's like, but my shoes are $35. He's like, it's money management. Where do you put it? Do I tell myself? I'm like, why do I need $250 pair of shoes? I don't walk anywhere.
I'd never got
You know what I mean?
that.
Like, yeah.
I never got the goddamn
don't
I
shoe
never
thing.
got that
anywhere.
either.
Like, stuff like that.
I have
It's just
motorcycle
like where
boots that
you
were
put-
$98.
Right. So it's like, it's funny. It's like, it's
My
just
docs are my most
what's
expensive
important
shoes.
to you. Yeah, and I'm like, you know, and it's funny because most of them are just following fad or what everybody else is doing. I'm like, no, just be you. To hell with shoes. For me, I'm like, I have my car, it's like, and then I got my bike, and I like taking trips. And I tell myself when I can do that, when I can't, I say yes to certain things. I say no to certain things. Like, I'm not always in the club. I'm not always doing ridiculous stuff. It's just money management. You know when to tell yourself yes and when to tell yourself no. It's like what's important to you. So money management to me actually is wealth. It's like, because everybody has to be wealthy on their level. You know, everybody's not meant to be millionaires. If everybody's millionaire, who cuts your hair? You know, who fixes your bike? You know, who...
Another millionaire?
You know, right. It's like, yeah. It's like, if I got millions, I'm not cutting nobody's hair. I don't give a shit. Like, so that's what
I'm just going to sit here and
right. I'm
just going to wait for universal basic income.
Right. It's like, and it's funny because, you know, and that's why I tell people, I'm just like, you know, it's not having a lot. It's, you know, money management. And, you know, of course, a lot of times having a lot turns you into a dick anyway. I'm like, you know, I'm looking at Mayweather. I'm like, how do you have so much money and you have no friends? Like, you never have no one
he doesn't.
in your corner.
That's a good example. What he has people
example.
feeding off of his, you know, stardom and whatever.
Right.
And I guarantee, man, if he was to be worth zero tomorrow, they'd be like, going,
they're sure out of there.
You know what? I finally respected him, though, after that last big fight where he won. And when he was being interviewed at the end, he was talking about his whole game plan. And he had the entire thing strategized. He knew what his opponent was going to do every single round of the fight. And he knew exactly when he could hold out to and exactly what to do to beat his opponent.
Okay, fuck Mayweather. So anyways, now Scott, so when it came to your kids, I mean, you've got... Your kids,
3. You
have 3, but you have 2
daughters and 1 son.
Yeah. So one older. So you've already. It's like at that
I've
point
got
you're
a
like,
grandbaby
okay.
too.
Yay!
But now you're the 2 that have not hit adulthood yet. I mean, have you started, you know, the whole process of like, hey, look, this is life. And then guess what it has in store for you? A bunch of bullshit.
That's happening next year. My boy will be 18, and it's like that conversation is definitely coming up because a certain ex-wife is not going to be getting child support anymore.
Oh.
It's like it's inevitable, so it's like obviously it's going to happen. So she's got to prepare herself for it, but he's got to prepare himself for it too. It's like he's got to give himself a job, and get his ass going. You know.
Now, does he want to get a job? Is he like, oh, Dad, I want to get a job?
No, he's just lazy. He sits on and plays fucking computer games all goddamn day. You know, he's barely gonna, I hope, graduate and get everything going in his life. You know. Me, on the other hand, you know, I never did. I got pulled out of school to go on tour, so I had a whole nother agenda in my life that I thought was, you know, this dream of mine and blah blah blah. But you know, I'm still living my own dream musically,
right?
But he doesn't have that agenda. He doesn't have that dream that, you know, acquire. He doesn't have that drive right now. So it's like, yeah, he's gonna get the talk. You know. I'm not going to, you know, support you 100%. I'll help you out if you need something, but it's like,
yeah, it's like, what are you going to do? It's
I'm a hard ass. You know, it's like I paid out my ass for child support all these years. It's like I gave my kids when I was married with my ex-wife and had them there. I mean, I had the Disneyland passes. I had the Knott's Berry Farm passes. I had, you know, I paid out my ass. I paid for their insurance that was just exuberant, ridiculous pricing. And I just, when she left, I said, nope. You deal with all that shit on your own. That's what child support's for.
You know, any of these kids that are out there like just playing games, like there's one thing, just learn to make them.
Yeah.
Like when I was young, I liked video games. And I remember talking to guidance counselors in high school. I was like, I want to go to college and learn how to make video games. And everybody said, no, you need to pick something serious to do. And then people go make millions of dollars doing that.
If you're
millions,
had I been like in my power, like in my smartness, I would have done it anyway.
Replace the M with B.
What's that movie, Grandma's Boy? Where the guy makes the video games? Yeah. That's a hilarious movie. But the guy made a lot of money just making a fucking video game.
But, you know, I want to hit on a point that you said, Scott, is that, you know, even my boys, you know, when Dylan was going to school, he was still in high school, and I, you know, bought him a motorcycle.
Nice. Best dad ever.
Right.
But now the thing is, I says, son, this is not a gift to you. This is something you're going to work for. So you still owe me for this motorcycle.
Oh, my dad did that.
When you graduate, I will hand you the title to this motorcycle.
My dad made me sign a contract for my first drum set that I actually got. It was a Tomo double bass set. I mean, my dad
An
was
actual contract?
an actual signed contract.
Damn.
With
I
interest.
thought my stepdad was bad.
With interest.
With fucking interest. I still have it, the fucking piece of paper in my file. Yeah. It's hilarious. But, he was a hard ass like that. And it was for a reason, and he was a stickler. He was a hard ass, but, he's a hard fucking working guy.
Right.
And I say was because he's no longer with us, but he, like you were saying, you went to college and you went and got a degree. My dad went and he was going to be an engineer. Smartest guy I've ever known. That's where I get my tinkering, where I get my talent with my hands, so I can build or do anything from him. And
From his nuts.
but he was a salesman. He was a salesman because he's a talker, so he could sell anything.
Right.
That's actually really good. When you can be technical about shit and be the salesman, that's some talent.
Yeah, it is.
But anyway, the point is, I got my hard bullshit ethic from him is because he wasn't easy on me, and no parent should be. It to a point. I'm not talking beating your kids. I'm talking just like mentally, mentally beat your kids into that sense of telling them you got to do your shit.
Well, there's definitely no nothing wrong with a good fucking tanning.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that the new generation has not gotten. The millennials have not gotten a good tanning, because I tell you what, I got good tannings, and when I was, there's such thing as
depends
child
where
abuse.
you grow up.
In tanning, but a good tanning will definitely make you think. But back to Dylan. The kids are like going, "Oh wow, your dad's balling." You know what I mean? And then when I bought the truck, I said, okay, because we needed a truck. One, I needed to haul my drums. I had a Camaro.
You can't fit that many drums in
Can't
that.
fit drums inside that, no. And so I got a truck. So then Dylan was playing football.
Wait, it was a hatchback, right?
So with Dylan playing football,
It helps.
I said, you use the truck. Right. So then he could take his gear back and forth, and then of course his buddies, God, my fucking truck was full of fucking mud, and they just he'd pile his buddies and go back to the house, the gear, whatever. But your dad's balling. No, your dad is not balling.
Right.
Your dad knows, like Theo said,
management.
it's money management. I sacrificed. Yeah, did I want to go out to go to Catalina, or did I want to do this, or did I want to do that? No, okay, you know what? Do I want to do that? But I don't need to do that.
Right.
See, there's wants and needs.
Priorities.
And so and the same thing with Drake. Drake, no, you have to earn this. When you graduate, I will hand you the title to your motorcycle. So he was, both of my boys were the only ones that rode motorcycles.
Yeah.
To school. And I told Drake, because he was borderline, same thing, Scott. I'm like, man, just go ahead, keep fucking up. Go ahead and keep fucking up, because you know what? Reality, I really had to sit him down. I had to look him straight in the face. I said, reality is going to kick you in the dick. And I guarantee it's going to be a lot harder kick than if I kick you in the dick.
Right.
Okay? So, he ended up actually thinking about, with me and his mom, just really drilling it, quit being an asshole. You know what I mean? And I says, guarantee you're not going to be an entitled person, because if you don't graduate with at least a 3, then I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to sell your motorcycle. Damn. I'm not going to give it to you. I'm not.
Right.
You can blow my rod, because you didn't deserve it. You didn't work for it. And I think a lot of, I see, my boys have a few buddies that skated into graduation, both in Dylan and Drake's classes. And they got You know, like one of them got a fucking brand new Camaro, dude.
Damn.
The 4-cylinder with the turbo.
Oh,
I would never buy another
Four-cylinder.
Camaro in my life. Sorry.
But I'm just saying, you know. But he
Right.
did. It wasn't like he was like on the top of the chart class. You know what I mean? I'm like going, really? See, now you're just
you're crippling them.
Actually, I remember when I was
You
in
know what
high
I mean?
school,
I-
there was kids that got brand new cars and shit.
I don't give a fuck. I didn't buy.
There's always gonna be
Dude,
some.
I've only bought one brand new car my whole fucking life. You think I'm
Me
going to buy my
too.
kid?
You know what my parents gave me?
Unless my kid was like 4.0 and got a scholarship and everything I did,
I
let me
still
buy
wouldn't.
you a brand new car.
If they
And I
can
already
make
knew
a
that
4.0,
wasn't going to
they
happen.
can pay for it themselves.
Theo knew it wasn't going to happen because he cuts my fucking boy's hair too. He's like, so every time I go get my hair cut, so what are the boys talking about? You know? They ain't talking about nothing but pussy.
Yeah. The free car I got when I was a kid, or when I finally got my license and all that bullshit, a 73 Datsun pickup.
Nice. That was an awesome pickup.
Hoopty.
But
That
it
was the one
carried
with
my
the little
drums.
things on the side.
Yeah.
Exactly. I had a 76 Celica. It cost $1,000. I was like pleading my parents to help me pay for that shit. That shit was awesome.
My first
I could fit my
car-
drum set in it too. It was a hatchback.
My first car was that little bitty Ford Festiva.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, with
I
10
forgot
inch,
that thing even
10 inch
existed.
rims on it. My speakers in the trunk.
That was
were
like,
You know you wanted to
that
put
was
20s on
like
that
a
bitch.
box car.
And it was funny because the speakers in the trunk were 12s. I was rattling the hell out that little car. And it's crazy. Actually, in one thing,
The speakers
I
were
recently,
12s?
yeah. And the rims on the car were actually like little 10-inch.
I was going to say that's bigger than the
But it's
rims.
like- and I even had to one thing that I actually been realizing too that's unfortunately kind of crippling a lot of kids is like usually the moms. Because they like babying and coddling.
Yeah.
And then when you get a dad
Helicopter
that's
parenting.
hard and he's trying to actually I had to explain to my kid's mom, like, look, you're the nurturing and the kissing and the, fix the boo-boos and all that. I have to teach them how to deal with life. That's dad's job. Life lessons.
A lot of that behavior actually anchors in certain negative behaviors. If you're fixing the
Yeah.
boo-boos and shit like that, like when a kid goes,
Yeah.
when a kid hurts himself, like imagine a kid's running along and he just fucking trips, lands on his fucking face. He gets up, looks around. If mom's not there, he just
He
takes
keeps
off running
moving.
again.
It keeps it
But when
moving.
mom's like, oh, my little baby, boom. Now that behavior just got anchored in.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Yep.
it just completely cripples them. And I'm like, I've had to explain to, my kid's mom, I'm like, look, especially now that we're not together, it's like, you got to do your household and I'm going to do mine. It's like, I have 50-50 custody of them. So I'm like, on my time, I'm going to prepare them for life. When they come talking to you about whatever it is that happened, don't call me with shit. Unless it's an emergency, they in the hospital or they're sick or they need medication, something like that. It's like, but don't call me about what I'm doing with the kids because you already know their best interest is at heart, as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm going to make sure they're prepared for dealing with life and all the kicks in the ass that's going to come with it. It's like, that's my job as dad. If you're coddling them and babying them, and then I coddle them and baby them, and then they have to go out and deal with life. And they're completely unprepared because nobody told them, you need to do this. No questions asked. It's not negotiable. You have to do this. They don't like it now. I didn't like it then. It's like we went through the same shit. It's like, our dads had to tell us, you go get this shit done. And there was no not getting it done. Like, it was either getting done or you getting your ass kicked. It's like that simple. And it sucked then, but I'm who I am now. It's like, and I'm happy that happened because of that. It's like, my mom's great. It's like, and, my mom actually, even the little get up and go that she learned, she actually picked that up from the stuff that my dad was doing. So she kind of followed his lead. So it was like that worked out for us. And, especially with my brother coming up with a learning disability, me just coming up and figuring life out and, trying to go in direction, especially, I didn't even like when my kids elementary school, they do their assemblies and they're like, hey, well, where are we going to college and what are we going to be? And they got them reciting this stuff from young. It's like, you're going to be doctors and lawyers and all that. I'm like, fuck that. Like, no, you're not. I got right in the car. You're erase all that shit. Like,
Yeah, it's like memorizing.
It's like-
having your kids memorize the fucking Bible verse or
Yeah.
something. You know what I mean? And then Jemima times it says, "Fuck that shit. I'd be crying my ass off, fucker." So basically, he's putting in like if I was his dad, he's, get up and go. Wait, what did he say?
I love
get
that.
up and go. My mom got. Get up and go. My mom got was cocaine.
Oh shit!
Joe, Mama, I don't even fucking. I have no idea. I don't think you're fucking following anything, dude.
I love
That
he made a
motherfucker-
meme the
that
other day.
motherfucker
He
made
said,
himself a
"What
cocktail."
would
Oh, wait,
JoJo do?"
Oh, thou shalt not walk into the valley of the shadow of death. Joe, Mama, you're a fucking idiot.
That's
dude.
a lot of prefixes.
I swear to God, dude.
A
I love
valley
it.
of a shadow of death.
That mother-
It's just a valley, dude.
Dude, Jamama is my boy. I love him fucking till the ends of the fucking earth. Dude. I swear to God, dude, he'll take one conversation that you are dead set on and boom.
And he'll turn it into
Smooth
bacon
on.
jalapeno poppers.
Hit it like a golf ball, dude. That fucking thing's bouncing all over the fucking goddamn place, man. But yeah, it's the instilling the things but are the kids retaining it? That's the whole thing. And now are they retaining it? Because all I see is when it comes. I don't want to turn this into the political thing, but all I know is that whenever you watch like a lot of the stuff to protest, it's fucking kids that are like, and I'm going to call them kids. Until you're 25, you're still a kid,
Right.
Okay, that's all I'm saying. But it seems like they're 18 to 25.
It gets prolonged.
I'm just
and
saying,
people don't
even
let them
younger
make
than
What
their
the
own
that.
hell?
decisions about
Don't
shit.
you have a job?
Right. And it's funny because like actually like I forget what they were actually protesting, but at my kid's high school, it was like, I'd see a post, my daughter posted something on Snapchat, like, "Oh, we're protesting." I'm like, "You're supposed to be in fucking class right now." It's like, "Oh,
Most of them
I
didn't
was like,
know.
no. I don't give a shit what they're doing. You get in class. It's like, or I'm gonna come get you. It's like
Right.
she knows what that means. It's like you're not old enough to know anything about politics or what's going on. You just see a free chance to get out of class.
Yeah.
It's like, so you're going to get out of
'Cause that's
class,
what I
you're going
do.
to ride that out and all that. Now, mind you, I would have did the same shit, so it was hypocritical. So it's like, I would have been out there doing the same thing, but
It's not
I'm
hypocritical
like-
if you tell them, "I know what you're doing."
Right.
Because I would
exactly.
do the same thing.
That's true. So I'm like, no. I was like, get up, get whatever that is. I don't care what that is. It's like, that's a setup. For
I think
some
they were
bull.
protesting getting shot
Like,
at. But not
and that
everybody
probably-
was getting shot at.
Right. She goes to Redlands East Valley. It's like you're tucked away in a corner back
Right.
there in the
There's
hills.
nothing there.
Zone somewhere. Like no one even knows you're there. Like if you don't
You're
get back
fine.
in class, like none of that's going on. That is irrelevant to you guys. Get back in class.
Yeah.
Right. Joe Mama chimed back. He says that we're raised in a nation of bullies and pussies. So which
Dead on.
Yeah, it's a little
Wait,
bit more.
wait,
I'd say more
polarized.
pussies. I
which-
mean,
yeah, more pussies than
yeah,
anything.
yeah.
this nation and this
Well, it
whole
only takes like one bully for a group of pussies.
Yeah.
But he
yeah.
he says when I fucked up, I got my ass beat. When I didn't fuck up, I got my ass beat. So what's your point? And I'm telling you, I know Mom, and God bless her soul. I miss her to death. She had passed away, quite a few years ago, I never got to have that fucking last sushi date with her. But I know Mom. She was little. I know, goddamn. And Joe Mom was big. Joe Mom was like fucking 6 fucking something, man. Jeez. He's like 6, probably 6'6", and like 200 something pounds. And I'm telling you, Mom was tiny.
Yeah.
She was like Otsko. You guys have all met Otsko. So
oh, she's like Tiff.
right, like Tip.
Tiff's
but
5 foot nothing.
But whooped ass. Him and his brother. Just boom. And I said something one time and mom said something. Or I said something and Mom says, "If you say it again, I'm gonna kick your ass." Okay, Mom.
Right.
And that was it.
Yeah.
You don't get that nowadays with the kids. That's you know what I'm saying?
It's a pussification of
right.
Yeah.
My friend
You know
does
what
that
I
to
mean?
her kids.
You're
You're still in that hippie age, though. You got to.
No, I'm thinking of somebody else.
Kick your ass. I've got this little whip stick. I'm gonna beat you with.
Nah, the hippie kids, they're fine. They just run around and do whatever. They don't have money to
I'm
deal
gonna
with.
smoke this joint without you,
That's how they learn the
man.
value of money.
right? It's I'm kind of like on the fence of like what's going to happen, because as we get older, the next series of adults is
Diverse, yeah.
going to set our nation in motion.
Yep.
You know, so did
Yeah,
you?
they're going to
I
be
hate to even-
adults, and
I
we're
hate
going to
to
be the
even
old
think about
people.
it.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
Think about that.
did you instill the right skills? I mean, did you give your kids shit? You know, and I know that I see it with a lot of my son's kids, where they have this entire attitude, and I'm telling you, when they come to my house, and
Your son's kids?
my son's buddies, sorry. So
Oh, wait till he has kids.
well, let me put it this way: Drake has one of these buddies, right? And he comes in and he came in the house one day, and he just like shouldered in, walked right by me, didn't acknowledge me.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so when you walk in my house, the very first thing you need to do, you need to acknowledge me.
Right.
Okay, if you walk by me, you acknowledge me. Walked right by me, opened up the fridge, grabbed him something to eat. You know, just started. You know, doing his whole thing.
Ooh, fridge equals food.
So I'm like,
No.
so I'm standing there and I'm watching him, and he looks at me and he smiles and he does an old nod. That's not acknowledgement.
The
dude.
hell no.
He's like,
So-
oh, good. He's letting me do it. He's not saying
Right.
anything yet.
Right. And now I just got done, working a 12-hour, motorcycle training shift. So I was like, I was already on the fucking edge, and it was fucking hot. And I says, okay. All right. So, hey. So I'm going to say, I almost said his name.
Right.
I says, hey, put everything back. What? What?
Even after he touched it?
Put every. No, he just pulled it all out. He just pulled it out.
Okay, good.
Yeah, and he started pulling out the lunch meat and
Because
everything.
if his ass started touching that shit without washing his
fuck
hands.
no. I said, start putting everything back. Put everything back. and he's like, what? I said, put everything back. So he puts everything back, and you can tell there was like a slight attitude.
Confusion.
Right?
Like, yeah.
Yeah, he was probably getting pissed off already.
So I said, okay, now walk out of the fucking house, and I want you to walk back in. I want you to knock on the door.
Right.
And he's looking at me like, what the hell? Right? Walk out of the house, and I want you to close the door behind you, and I want you to knock on the door.
He's probably going to have the same thing happen to him in 20 years.
And then I said, and then now,
Or worse.
when I say come in, you are going to walk up to me, and you are going to either acknowledge me or shake my hand.
Hi, Mr. Zig.
And then what you're going to do is you're going to, I'm going to say, hey, are you hungry? Are you thirsty? You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, you offer the shit up first.
Right. So he went out, dude, and he fucking did. And he stood up. He's like, oh, he's serious.
Right.
You fucking bet your ass, because I'll tell you what, if your dad didn't whoop your ass, I'm going to whoop your ass right now.
Yep.
I got a belt. I wear a belt every day. I can fling that thing off really quick.
Yep.
So he walked out.
Knives work,
He
too.
closed the door. He knocked on the door. Did exactly what I told him to do. And I says, are you hungry? He goes, yeah, I'm hungry. Are you thirsty? Thirsty. Okay, well, good. There's plenty of food in the refrigerator. Make yourself something to eat. There's bread, blah, blah, blah. There's juice. There's water. There's milk. Make yourself at home.
Right.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And guess what he said? Thank you, sir.
There it is.
Nice.
Right.
That's
He knew
that's
it.
how it
He was
happens in
just
my
didn't want to
fucking
acknowledge
house.
that he knew it.
And see, my boys will always tell you. I know they've been respectful to you, Theo.
Oh, yeah. Oh, at all
You know,
times. all
it,
times.
that's how it needs to be. And I the new millennial fucking entitlement dude is really driving me crazy. And I'm telling you, people, really, you have to think about raising your fucking kids.
Is that
And
really that
I
new?
think it is.
I think there's always
It
been
is.
assholes.
No,
See, my
not like
thing is,
nowadays.
Yeah,
I
it's so
think
much
that
worse now.
parents are so involved in their own fucking world.
Yeah.
They're all they just like
Nonchalant
the
about it
kids.
and-
He's 10 years old. He can make himself some top ramen. You know what I mean?
Right.
Fuck. I mean,
Yeah.
fuck. Really? Dude, don't just like expect fucking kids to learn on their fucking own. You know what I
Exactly.
mean?
I'd say in the last 10 years, that's when all that millennial bullshit. I mean, millennial, it makes sense, but last 10 years have been the worst.
Yeah.
I mean,
It is.
it's like, come on, man. Teach your kids fucking some manners. Like back in our day, didn't you call your friend's parents or whatever by their
Last
Mrs.
name.
blah 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 or
Right.
Mr. blah blah blah. You didn't say their
Right.
first name. Nowadays,
No, fuck that shit. I
Kids
call
will
them by
say
their first name.
no.
No,
Nowadays,
I did not do that shit.
Why not?
It's like fuck you. It's like you're just trying to fucking like get some kind of respect, but you don't give any respect.
when you're a child, you call them by their adult name. You don't call
Well,
them
when
like,
I was a
sir,
child.
or
hey
sir,
Fred,
or ma'am.
hey, what's going on,
Right.
But when
Fred?
people made a
Right.
big deal
It's
about
either
it, and you're
sir,
trying to be
ma'am.
friendly with them and call them by their first name, because it's not disrespectful to call somebody by the first name.
If they allow
it's
it.
actually on friendly terms. So it's
Yeah,
if somebody's
yeah,
willing
so-
to call you by your
well-
first name, it's a good thing.
But
No,
when you're
no,
younger,
well-
I feel like that respect level isn't there. It's like you're
Fuck no,
like
it's not.
as adults we can do that.
You
It's
only
like-
did that to your kids because you wanted them to have respect for
Right,
adults.
right.
It wasn't like something that you're trying to teach them. Like you got to do it for the rest of your life. No, you're a child. You got to treat your elders and your
Respect your
adults,
elders, yeah.
and fucking respect them.
Right.
That's what it was about. They don't do that anymore.
No.
Now it's this fucking millennial like, hey Thelma, hey Fred. It's like they don't give a shit.
Dude, that's been since the 80s. It's not just the millennials.
No. I was raised in the 80s.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I don't know what
70s and 80s. Yeah.
I don't know what fucking neighborhood you lived in, fucking JJ. But all I know is that when my boys, like for instance, when Dylan was in football, all the football team once he started in ninth grade, then they would come to the house. My house was the
spot.
spot.
Yeah.
So it was like they worked hard. So they needed a lot of carbs. Okay, great. I fucking had stacks of top ramen and mac and cheese. Make yourselves, as long as you clean up after your shit. Right. But the thing is, they would always say, "Oh," when I walked in the door, and there was like 10 fucking kids there, stinking. Okay, so I walked into a locker room, and hey, Mr. Springer, you know what I mean?
Right.
And
Is that your last name?
And after
Hold up there. You can't pass by that.
yeah, you can kiss my ass. And so after a while, it was it got to you know what, just come up with something,
Yeah.
and then
So we're on the Springer Show?
I thought you were Mexican.
yeah, I shouldn't have fucking said. See what I got to do with these two fucking assholes? You see what I got to do with this?
Since when is Springer
This is
Mexican?
fucking every week. Dude. Every week
Jerry
I
your
do
brother?
this fucking guy.
Jerry.
One of Dylan's buddies.
Next week we're
Usher,
gonna have Roseanne on the show.
Oh, it's gonna hold
one of the buddies Ushers who was in the American football team, and he called me Pops.
Okay.
That's disrespectful.
And
I can't
then
even
you know
talk
what?
Disrespectful.
Have another shot.
No, it wasn't. I says,
Yeah.
you know what? Okay, I can dig it. So all the kids call me Pops.
Yeah.
Pops.
Call me Pops. When I went to the football games, hey Pops. You know what I mean?
Right.
That was cool. I can
Right.
dig that. But the thing is, if I was there before, like there's been plenty of times where they had a late football practice, and if I was already home, when they walked in, they showed me respect. They
Right.
walked into my house, hey Pops, hey Pops, hey Pops. You know what I mean? And then they says, and I says, I bet you guys are hungry, aren't you? Because
Right.
they would walk into the kitchen. You see, it was like the initiative. Like, okay, we're in the kitchen. They didn't touch anything yet. You boys are hungry, aren't you? Yes, we are. All right, get yourself something to eat. Make sure you clean your shit up.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
And that was it. So, the thing is that as adults, all we're going to do is get older. Right. And the way you raise your kids now is what we have to deal with and what you have to deal with when you are older. And the
Right.
more entitled you raise your kid, the more lazy you raise your kid, and the more you just coddle them, you have to take them off that fucking nipple.
Yeah.
And you have to make sure that they have ethics, work ethics, and goals. And stop fucking making it to where these kids just feel like, oh, everything should just be like handed down to them.
Yeah.
That's the problem with society right now.
Yep.
That is the problem. And we need to fix that. So anyways, thank you very much for my buddy Theo. for joining in.
Hey.
All right. And of course, the McLaughlin.
What?
The McLaughlin.
Jesus Christ.
He's got some
Okay.
gigs to fucking promote.
Go ahead.
You guys do your-
give a quick shout out. Come on. I know the
You
do
gotta- no, do your shot.
Get him out.
Day zero.
No,
Go
day
ahead.
zero. No.
Okay.
No, this is
Mr. Crowley.
Mr. Crowley.
You got 1 minute.
Okay, Viper Room, June 30th in Hollywood, and July 1st at the Circle in Huntington Beach.
Nice.
All right, very
Oh
good.
yeah, Dianthus is tomorrow at MTO. Our friends.
Actually, Dianthus is going to on July 30th. Dianthus is going to do their new album release here.
Nice.
Sweet.
That's right. So, anyways, everybody, thanks for tuning in, and we are out of here. And remember, treat your kids with discipline. Fuck off.
And beer.
Yep. So,
I poured another shot for you like 15 minutes
yeah,
ago.
you guys got another shot.